Hello, everyone. This is Mike Mullis, and we are on the original Next Level Gaming podcast. I've got with me my intrepid co-host Enrique Castellanos. How you doing, brother?
Mike, I'm doing very well, thank you. It's raining like cats and dogs where I'm at, though.
Oh,
Kind
it
of
is here
interesting.
too.
Oh, is it there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
know,
a
we
little
don't live that
crazy.
far apart, so if it rains down
Yeah,
there, chances are it's going to be raining up here.
this is true. This is true. And by the way, speaking of interesting things, and I'm not rubbing this in your face. I know you're a Ravens fan, but I never expected them to be 0-3.
You have no idea, man. You have no idea. Our, I have never. I've been a PSL holder for some time, and I don't
Yep.
think I have ever seen the team just not be able to finish games like this. I mean, the defense has gone down a little bit,
Mhm.
and since losing Ray Lewis and Ed Reed to
Yeah.
retirement and things like that. But man, oh man, and you know what? It's really funny because in this town, no one, no one dares to criticize Ozzie Newsome, the general manager of the team. But let me tell you, he's got a hand in what's going on right now.
Oh, absolutely, he does.
He lets good receivers walk and
I don't
can't
get that.
replace them.
Yeah, I
I
don't get
mean,
that.
he he trades away Haloti Ngata, one of the top nose tackles in the league, and
Hmm.
can't replace him. We
Nope.
have uh, it's just his drafting has been a hair bit suspect. I mean, yeah, they hit on guys like C.J. Mosley and stuff like that, but for every one of those, I got a Matt Elam for you. I mean, Jesus. So what's going on down there in Redskin land?
We lost to the Giants. The last actually the last podcast that we did, we were talking about that. Hey, they're 1-2 right now.
Yeah, they're doing better than the
Yeah, I
Ravens.
know, but that's not going to last much longer. I'm pretty sure of that.
I don't know, man. We could be 0-4. Of course, now Ben Roethlisberger's hurt, so we get to play
Mm.
Mike Vick on Thursday night. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We made Derek Carr look like Frank Tarkenson. I mean,
I don't think the viewers, or maybe some do. Maybe I don't know if they know who Fran Tarkenton
all
is.
right, hold on. We made Derek Carr look like Aaron Rodgers.
There you go.
So, and you know what? When you only have one good wide receiver to throw the ball to, two of the worst tackles in the league, and a running game that goes nowhere, how do you expect to win? How do you expect to do anything?
You don't win.
Ugh. So, all right. Well, now that you've put me in a bad mood,
Sorry. I'm just. I'm surprised. I root for the Ravens. I mean, I root for the Maryland teams.
right?
Um, but I'm just surprised. I didn't see 0-3.
I didn't see it either. I
Yeah.
didn't see it
So
either. Ugh. And I just don't know what's going to come of this. Look, they could go on an 11-2 tear and make the playoffs, but
stranger things
it's
happen.
not. Well, their schedule's very front loaded,
Yeah.
so they are. They've got they started out with Denver and then
Hmm.
Cincy and Pittsburgh. The back end of their schedule is not half bad, but I just don't. I don't. This is a year. This is a year to kind of retool.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, for those of you who may hear this coughing and hacking up a lung every once in a while, or if you're listening to this and you're asking yourself, "Man, does Mike have a cold?" Yes, the answer is yes. I have a
Nope.
cold. I was on my rear end all day,
Oh boy.
laying in bed. So I've literally scratched myself out of bed to come do this podcast with you. And then hopefully we can get this done in a short order so that I can go back to bed. And I know you've got something going on in the morning, so
Yep.
we'll try to roll through what we've got to talk about tonight in some fairly short order, uh, and we'll start with some Xbox news. So um, last week we talked about a new PS4 bundle, the Call of Duty bundle, 1 terabyte console, And I think well, then we were saying, well, what's Microsoft going to do? And of course we went into some of the third-party stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Microsoft has responded, and they have responded with a week. I guess it's a week of bundles. So every day this week, they're showing off a new bundle. Yesterday, they announced a Rise of the Tomb Raider bundle for $399, 1 terabyte console, and it comes with Rise of the Tomb Raider and the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. It's a pretty good bundle. Not a custom console, but just a straight up 1 terabyte.
Yeah, and actually, I got something to say about that in a little bit, but
all right. Well, let me give you the second one, and then we'll go back and talk about it. So today's bundle is actually one that I think, if I'm being honest, could be a little better. This is the Xbox One 1 terabyte holiday bundle. I'm going to bring it up on the screen for everybody. This is impressive. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I told you guys you might hear me hacking up a lung tonight. So this has Gears of War Ultimate, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Rare Replay, and a 1 terabyte console. That is 36 games. Because not only 37. Actually, I was corrected this morning. I think it's 37 games. You get all 30 games in the Rare Replay. You get Ori and the Blind Forest. So that's 31. 30. No, it's 36 then. 32 would be Gears of War. And then because you get Gears of War, you also get backwards compatible from the 360, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War Judgment. So you're getting all of that for $399. Now, if you've seen my review of Rare Replay, even if you dropped off all the say Nintendo Entertainment System games, all the stuff that was back before Rare was Rare, that's still a ton of value for $399. I mean, that's killer, and that's still $50 less than the Call of Duty bundle and the Battlefront bundle. And this is just the beginning. We have no idea what they're coming up with for the rest of the week. So, that said, you wanted to talk about the Rise of the Tomb Raider bundle.
Well, yes, I did. And this goes back to what we've talked about with customized consoles. I think the bundle itself is a good deal. And look, let's face it, a lot of holiday shoppers are looking for deals, right?
Right. There?
Yeah, Mike, I just dropped for a sec.
That's all right.
Yeah. A first in this podcast that we've done live.
Hey, it's the pitfalls sometimes of doing live broadcasts.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen again. You know, I feel like this happened one time before, like when we were doing the Destiny podcast, and I had to switch from Chrome to Explorer, and actually it worked fine. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But so we talked about customized consoles. I think we talked about this on a couple podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pricing's great. I think, obviously during the holidays, holiday shoppers are looking for deals. I think this is a good deal. I think there's some value in that console bundle. What I was surprised, though, was that there wasn't a customized console, like a Tomb Raider console. And I really feel like that's something they could have done to add additional value or to really kind of make that bundle even stand out more. I mean, Sony's doing the customized bundles. I know Microsoft's got the Halo, the Forza one, but and I know this isn't an exclusive game, but this is still a pretty big AAA timed exclusive, and so I think a customized console would have been perfect. That's the only complaint that I have. I think Microsoft could have, taken advantage of this holiday bundle, and dolled up that console nice in a customized Tomb Raider fashion. And in doing that, I think would probably drive a little more sales.
It might. Um, I, I'd be interested to know, just from your thoughts, what the console would look like. What do you think it would be?
Um, hmm. Good question. Probably something along the lines with the logo, or geez, you could probably put Lair on the top of it. I mean, shit, Sony put Darth Vader on the PlayStation 4,
This
you
is
know.
true.
So yeah, maybe you could have some kind of logo of Lara, um, on top of the Xbox, and then have some kind of like Tomb Raider emblem on the front, and a customized controller, something along those lines.
True.
Or a white Xbox One.
Ooh, the white Xbox. See, that
Yeah.
would be cool.
With
You can make it look like the snow level
There you go.
that they
Yep.
keep on it. Maybe put the bear on it.
Oh, you know what? The bear would actually be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe change the color up, make it a white, Xbox One with the bear, or the Tomb Raider logo. I was it. Didn't they do something like that for Comic Con? Did they do a Tomb Raider one?
Um, they did a ton of them. I don't know. I don't know if they did a Comic Con Tomb Raider Xbox One or not. It's something I can look up real quick while we're talking. But I'm not sure if they did. I'm not sure if they did that one. Oh, you know what? They
So
did.
yeah, I just
You are
Googled.
correct, sir.
Is it white?
It is.
Yeah, look
Man,
at
you're
that.
right.
That looks nice.
There it is.
Look at that. See, I mean, so something. So, Mike, think about that: $399, a 1 terabyte console, 2 free games, and that Xbox One. I'd go out and buy one.
I'd buy this rare replay one too.
Oh, the Rare Replay one's actually pretty. Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
No. And of course, now don't forget, and I'm reminded looking at it, you have the Forza 6 bundle already,
Yep,
and that is custom console.
it is.
You have the Halo bundle, which is also custom console. You have, I think that's it for customs.
Look at the
You
Connect
also
in
have,
that
of
bundle, by
course,
the way.
the Madden and the FIFA standard bundles.
Yeah,
So it looks like what they're going to do is basically bombard the market with a bundle for everyone. By the way, just one more thing. This Fable Legends bundle, that Fable Legends custom console, I'd sell my current Xbox to that one.
that one was nice.
That
That one's
does look
actually,
nice.
yeah,
That looks really cool.
it does.
No. So a long time ago I asked Aaron Greenberg what the reasoning was. And he said that these cost a lot to manufacture.
Yeah,
I understand that. And I'm not saying that every single Xbox that you buy has to be some sort of custom console. But I think if you are trying to get back into the market where your competitor has really taken off, this is one way to do it. I mean, I could see that Rare Replay console selling a ton just because it looks so good. I could see that Rise of the Tomb Raider. Let me bring that back up one more time because I want to show you. There's one more there that they should announce. They should take this console and put that in its own bundle. That Halo 5.
oh,
Look
that
at
Halo,
that thing.
that thing looks nice.
That's crazy.
It looks, yeah,
See,
it looks nice.
those are the things that I think would help Microsoft a lot, especially
Yeah.
since people seem to like the white consoles more than they like the black consoles. Which I, I I'll be honest, I don't understand that. I'm not. I've had the Wii sitting in my entertainment center, and it does not look that good amongst all of my other peripherals, which are all black. So to me, I prefer a black console. But like I say, that Fable console, man, I'd buy in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
So
But this is the best time of year to get these bundles out like that. You know what I mean? I mean to get that exposure to you mentioned that Sony's done a pretty good job of offering customized consoles. This is a good time for Microsoft to get those out,
Absolutely.
and to sell them. If people are going to buy those kind of bundles, those customized consoles are going to buy them this time of year. I mean, this is the time of year when people spend money, especially in the gaming industry.
Absolutely. Well, this is a holiday time. We're coming up on, October, November, December. That's the
Yep.
that's your big time. And of course, you got Halo next month. So that really, I think, is going to kick off their marketing season for all this. Look, next week on the podcast, we're gonna be able to come back to this and talk about all the bundles that have been announced, and I think we should go side by side and see where the value is in who's got the better bundles. Because look, I think we said it last week that Call of Duty PS4 bundle is going to sell, whether or not people like the console look or not. Still got Call of Duty in it. So
Yeah.
That said, I think this is a good. I think this is a good. I don't want to say counterattack, but I think this is a good counter for those. And there's something else that we haven't seen yet, and those are the bundles that are not $3.99. So if you look at the very first thing that Microsoft said in that Rise of the Tomb Raider article was, this holiday, Xbox is offering unmatched value and choice for gamers with a diverse mix of bundles starting at $349. So right now we've got 2 1 terabyte bundles. We're gonna see, I'm sure, a couple of 500 gig bundles too. So next week we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah, and their strategy and what they were good at with the 360 was offering, and you touched upon this earlier when you said that they're offering, so far what we've seen, almost bundles for anyone, with the Tomb Raider bundle, with the Rare bundle, or the Rare Gears and Ori bundle, and that's the kind of they've always done a good job at that, offering a variety of different bundles for different buyers. So I think they'll have a strong lineup, strong offering.
What do you think's coming in the next set of bundles?
Oh boy. Well, we have tomorrow and then Thursday and Friday. So it's 3 bundles. So, my guess is the other 3 are going to be the 349 bundles. But I can't even begin to think about what bundles are going to announce. We know there's a Halo 5 bundle. There's maybe a Fallout 4.
Ooh,
I could see that.
I could. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see.
I mean, they have.
That would be big. It would be big. Now here's the only issue.
Yep.
Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out on the same day. Think they're gonna have a bundle for each?
Why not? Different genres.
That is true. That is true. I guess it depends. I mean, I guess with the way that that whole Rise of the Tomb Raider thing has gone down with Square, maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe I wouldn't. I'd put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good relationship with Bethesda, and always got to give a shout out to Bethesda because they're in our backyard. So, but yeah, I mean, they have got a good relationship with Bethesda. Like you said, I mean, at this point, it's not going to hurt Tomb Raider. I mean, we know it's going to the PlayStation platform, so why not? Why not do a Fallout 4 bundle? And think about that, $350, and you're already going to get Fallout 3 included, right?
I think if they're gonna, yes, but I think that's gonna be a 1 terabyte. I think that would be a 1 terabyte.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe it's a 1 terabyte.
That would be $3.99.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. I can't think of any other games. I mean, I feel like a lot of the focus of the bundles outside of Tomb Raider are probably, more their in-house stuff, first-party stuff. But maybe they have some other third-party bundles coming out we don't know about yet.
They'd have to be.
Yeah.
It would have to be because we're running out of time for game releases. Now they went back and they did Ori and Rare Replay and Gears, so they could go back and maybe do something else. I just don't. I don't know what, but this is going to be fun watching it throughout the week, and then, like I said, we'll come back next week and
Yeah.
and kind of go over all of them and see.
Or
And look,
Mike.
PS4, Sony could counter with another couple of bundles of their own too.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, absolutely.
There's
I
a
mean,
there's a an Assassin's Creed Syndicate bundle that's currently uh, only Europe is getting. They could bring that over here.
I'd be surprised if they didn't bring that here. That's interesting. It's only Europe right now.
Well,
That
they
we
didn't
know.
bring the Metal Gear Solid one over,
That's true. They didn't.
so I don't know. So this will be fun. This will be fun to look at and to report on next week. So
Well, I think yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe something that's $3.49, and then you pick a game for free, any game, something like that.
I would absolutely name the games too. Remember what happened, and I'm just again I step back. Um, I think fair is fair. Remember what GameSpot did with Madden?
Yeah.
I think Microsoft. I think they should be pressured to do that for Microsoft for Battlefront. They should have an ad: buy an Xbox One, get Battlefront free. It's not a bundle, but it's the exact same thing. I
Yeah.
think they should do that. I think if you're going to be fair, you need to be fair all the way around. But that's just me. That's just me. So, all right. So those are the bundles. Now let's switch over to some PlayStation news. The PlayStation 4 system update, the 3.0, is coming out tomorrow, or in a couple hours. It looks like.
Yep.
All right. Well, you're going to be able to tell us all about it more than anybody, since you have a PS4 and I don't. So you're going to get, of course, sharing clips to Twitter. You're going to get a new section for PlayStation Plus, and the big one, which now we're going to see how well this boosts YouTube, the new YouTube streaming. Now I've looked at trying to figure out if we wanted, how to stream live through YouTube without using capture cards and things like that. And you really can't. You have to. So this is a big step. And I did ask somebody from YouTube when this might hit the Xbox One, and she said they're waiting on Microsoft. Microsoft has to give access to their streaming system, and that hasn't happened. So right now, the Xbox will remain Twitch streaming only, whereas now with the PS4, you'll be able to do Twitch streaming and YouTube streaming. So I was hoping that when this thing goes live, you might be able to demo it for our good listeners.
Yeah. No, I would certainly be more than happy to do that.
Cool. Here, let me show you. So as I had said, sharing clips to Twitter, which now the maximum length for that's 10 seconds.
Okay.
PlayStation Plus, YouTube Live. The other thing too, and this is something that the Xbox had when they started up their screenshots to do PNGs, which are higher quality than JPEGs.
Yep.
So now the PS4 will also do PNGs. So those of you who have been complaining about the quality of your PS4 share pictures, fear not, it's going to be much better now. And you can see PNGs are much better.
Yeah.
It just is.
Stevie Wonder could see that.
Yeah. There's a new events hub, and then some improvements to messaging and grouping, communities, stickers. But the big thing, I think the big thing here is obviously the YouTube sharing.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I'm really looking forward to in this update. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be sending those 10-second highlight clips to upload them to Twitter. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, you have we could do them through the NLG Twitter
Yeah,
and show our viewers and listeners and Twitter followers what that's about. And you know, it's they're cool features, I gotta say. Now, YouTube's been making this push toward YouTube gaming, and just from what I've seen, I don't think it's really taken off because there's still a lot of Twitch streamers that are kind of ingrained in Twitch, and they have partnerships and things like that. Do you see YouTube gaming, the YouTube gaming, I guess, side of YouTube taking off, or do you think this helps?
I think it helps. I think it's going to open up the doors for other people. You know what I mean? Like you have these people who are established on Twitch. I think this may open the door for other people who maybe aren't as established or as followed on Twitch, possibly to go, kind of get their chance, if you will, on YouTube. Now, will it catch on, to the general masses? I don't know, probably, but I don't know. For me, it's too early to cut. It's too early to make a judgment call on that. I mean, Twitch has been around for how long now?
A long time.
Yeah, and so it's well recognized. It's kind of like it's a thing, in gaming.
Well, and look, I've tried to use the YouTube gaming app on on my phone and through the web. There's a web app. I don't know. I understand what it's trying to do. It aggregates all the gaming channels and all your favorite gaming stuff, but it really doesn't do anything that YouTube itself does not do if you're subscribed to people's channels. So, I don't know. I think if both consoles get YouTube streaming, because there are still a lot of people streaming on the Xbox, and they're still using, Elgato capture devices and things like that. I think if that makes it to both consoles, then I think it has a chance. But still, this is a big step for YouTube, and I'm sure they're quite happy with it.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to come down to features too, accessibility, those kinds of things.
I agree with that. But it's pretty bare. I mean, it's about as easy. I mean, not bare. It's about as easy as Twitch streaming. I mean, it's not that different.
Not that different, yeah.
So, speaking of Twitch, just a real quick side note: the PS4 is also finally getting a full Twitch app this fall. That was announced at TwitchCon this week. So, those of you who have been frustrated with the fact that you could only use Twitch through the web browser, and it's been, really, it's the word I'm looking for, really, barren as far as feature set goes. Well, you're going to get the actual app, and the app will allow you to go view other channels and things like that. The app has been very useful on the Xbox, and so PS4 owners are finally going to get their own. Very good.
Yeah, another feature I'm looking forward to in the download.
So I want to stay with PlayStation because I read something today that was kind of interesting, and we talk about the holidays, and we always talk about mind share and who has what, and all this fighting that's going on. Well, there's a marketing firm called MBLM, and they survey people based on, they survey people for various polls and things like that. So they did a poll of about 6,000 consumers asking what brands they consider to be intimate for them. And by intimate means, you feel a relationship between you and the brand.
Mhm.
So among millennials, which are people between the ages of 18 and 34, according to this report, Sony PlayStation, well, not necessarily, the PS4, but the PlayStation brand as a whole, is the third most intimate brand amongst those people, ranking only behind Amazon and Apple. Amazon, I don't get. Apple, of course, I get. Apple's, you say the word Apple, and anybody who's 20 years old whips out their iPhone. But this is kind of interesting because it's not about the console itself. Now, to be, for full disclosure, VentureBeat did an article on this yesterday, and basically how they worded it was, it's not so much the system itself, it's their messaging. It's how they reached out to gamers. Now, we know that in 2013, part of that issue was Microsoft's own messaging. But, Sony has done a great job of reaching out and trying to grab, gamers by the heart, I guess is how they word it. And right now they're winning that battle because, as you can see, people ages 18 to 34, they like them their PlayStation. And
that's and that's notable because that demographic's actually the largest demographic of gamers.
It is. And it's not even the console itself, because we all know that both consoles are very capable. We both know, we know that both the PlayStation and Xbox are very, very commanding, capable machines. The problem is that, at least in Microsoft's side, is they, up until, I guess, recently, they haven't been able to grab the hearts and minds of that group of people. And, can they? There's, anything can change, but that's an important stat to look at.
No, it is. Yeah, I mean, brand recognition is everything, as they say. And it was. I actually read that article too as well, and I was kind of surprised considering that, you think about brand names like Amazon, Apple, and the see PlayStation there, the PlayStation 4. I was like, whoa, that's telling.
It is, because, look, Xbox is not that old.
No, it's not.
PlayStation is definitely older than Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is not that old, but they just, I don't know if they, this could be part and parcel to the old mindset that they were, what people would call, I've heard this many, many, many times, the dude bro box, the shooty bang bang box.
Yeah.
And, not everybody's doing that. So now what I do find interesting, though, and this is where I don't quite understand how the numbers kind of match up. If you look at sales of, and maybe this is younger, maybe we're going below the age of 18. You look at games like Lego, of course, Minecraft,
Yeah.
and those are very much Xbox they're very Xbox things. They're, it's like, Disney Infinity kind of went to marketing bed with Sony, so I expect Disney Infinity to kind of, rank more with the PlayStation. But I'm expecting Lego, which, by the way, I just as a side note, I kind of like the Lego Dimensions thing. I may actually get that for my son. Because they have Disney Infinity, of course, is all Disney, and of course they have Star Wars. But Lego has Ghostbusters and Scooby-Doo, and I think I saw I saw a couple of Back to the Future.
They have Back to the Future, really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, crazy. So that may be a game I need to look at. So, anyhow, but back to this. That's pretty telling, and it's something that Microsoft's got to figure out how to get back into. Figure out how to reach out and grab these gamers, and do it in a way that can get them some market share back. So, maybe these bundles are part of that.
Could be, and they could go back to, part of that may be, them rethinking the third party stuff too, which we talked about last week. Having I guess a larger voice, if you will, with some of these third party games, maybe rethinking their strategy a little bit. Maybe that kind of helps them get that market recognition, that that brand out there. But also, like you said, I mean, the PlayStation brand has been around 20 years. And, Xbox has been around, what, 14?
Yeah, something like that. What are we, 2001?
Yeah.
So 50, yeah.
2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I mean, and for, and Sony's pretty much been the market leader for the majority of the time, except for, maybe last generation. They've been the market leader for the most part. So I'm sure a lot of that plays into that too.
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, you have all these people that grew up playing the PlayStation and are still playing PlayStation.
But it was for a lot of these people, it was their first console.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our first consoles.
Yeah, which is it's crazy for me to hear someone say PlayStation was my first console, the PlayStation 1, because I'm thinking like, geez, that was like my third generation. I got the Atari. It's third or fourth, gen console for me.
Yeah, craziness. But again, I'm 42 years old, so obviously my first console isn't going to be what they are. But it also, I wonder if it also goes to show that, some of us old guys are aging out of the demographic. Older gamers tend to, I think older gamers tend to be Xbox gamers. I don't have any statistics for that, but it seems like everybody that I know that has an Xbox or plays Xbox is all my age. And so, honestly, I have one person for example, in my office that owns a PlayStation 4, and he's 25 years old. But me, my boss, who's a little older than me, one of my coworkers who's no longer with us, who was my age, all of us own Xbox Ones. And so, that seems to be everybody I know that owns one is my age. So, there could be something to this. And Microsoft has to figure out how to get a hold of those gamers that are in that 18 to 34 range and start pulling some of that mindset.
Marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, they got to change the marketing up. I mean, I think and maybe this is still kind of a little bit of that hangover effect from 2013 too with them.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah. It's some of that. I'm not sure that's going to go away anytime soon. I think we're stuck with that for a long time. I think Microsoft has got to bear the brunt of that for a couple of more years.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if it hasn't gone away by now, when is it going to go away?
I don't know. By the way, just a small note: my lights here are flickering. So if the podcast ends early, it's because I'm losing power.
Oh, is it storming up there now?
I am not sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah. However, there's water in my basement, which does not make me happy at all.
Ooh, that's not good.
And it is not in the place where it previously was. So
Yeah, that's
This
not
is no. Okay, back to gaming.
good.
All right, so next on the agenda, Project Spark. Now, Project Spark came out as a way for people to create games. You could make your own games out of it. You could design your own levels, design your own things, and you could buy packs and things like that to make your games cool. And then they came out, of course, with the Conquer DLC. Well, they have announced that starting on October 5th, Project Spark has one more update coming out. They're going to bring out 3 new content packs for game assets and things like that. And then they are ceasing development, active development, and making the game completely 100% free.
Wow.
Yep. So, if you have bought DLC on or after July 28th, purchased a retail disc and activated it on or after July 28th, you will get store credit for your DLC.
Oh, wow.
And then from then on, everything in Project Spark will be free. They're basically, what they're doing is they're calling it the incubation engine, where they've they're backing off, they're backing off developing the game, which, what else could they honestly do other than content packs? And they are going to a fully free model. So anybody can make anything using any asset for no charge. It also means that they are no longer developing any of the Conquer DLC. So the first stuff that we got is all we're going to get. So it's up to you guys from here out to make Conquer games if you want to. So did you ever play Project Spark? Did you ever use it?
I dibbled and dabbled a little bit. But I didn't put a lot of time into it. I used to play other people's games. There's one game I was playing. What's that?
I did that too.
Yeah, there's one game I remember some guy made that it was kind of like Link. And
yes.
Yeah, the guy. It was just literally like you're playing with Link. It was interesting. And that's the one memorable game that I played. But that's it. I didn't spend a lot of time in it. Hey, Mike, you could actually probably do worms in that game.
I could. I probably could, and I could get sued by Team 17, but I could do
it. Worms, Project Sparks, the Project Sparks version.
That's funny. Well, I did dabble in it a little bit, but man, it's encumbering to try to design your own world. I mean, I just don't have the time or talent. If I had the time and if I had the ability, I'm sure I could, because you could do anything. I mean, Project Spark, the cool thing that I always found about that, based on the games that I played, was you could do anything. You could make a 2D game, a side scroller. Yeah. You could make a 3D game. I've seen people make pinball machines out of levels. I mean, I've seen people do a lot. Somebody had, and I never got to see it, but there was a story out there that somebody had recreated some Star Wars battles, some spaceship battles. I've never seen them, but that's been rumored to be out there. So it's, there was a lot you could do if you put the time into it. I never put the time into it, but I always thought it was a neat idea.
Yeah, and I didn't have the time to really, like you said, I didn't have the time myself to really get down and get into the game and, create those kinds of games or those kinds of worlds. Just didn't have the time to do it.
Yeah. So for people who are Project Spark fans and do want to know what this last update's going to be, well, I guess it may not be the last update. They may put out some more packs and stuff, but the fact that they're saying we're transitioning means that they're really kind of, pulling away from active development. But you're going to get double the terrain limit, so you can make things larger, make your worlds larger, increase your prop limit by 500. There's going to be updates to achievements and around 200 new assets. So if you guys are doing that and making these games, this is going to be huge for you. So we'll see what happens with updated stuff. I'm going to start looking and seeing what people make now that all the assets are free.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out too. Let's check out those other games, see what people are up to.
All right, so that's Project Spark. Moving on. Okay, so I read an article on Eurogamer today about Tony Hawk 5, which just released for the PS4 and Xbox One. Two things came immediately to my attention. Number one, there's a day one patch, which is as large as the actual game. And
wait, so I'm sorry, Mike. So the day one patch is as big as the game?
As big as the game.
What?
Uh-huh. But it gets better.
Oh boy.
The game's broken. Oh. They showed a video of these guys playing, and Hawk was like molding through the wood, going into weird places, shooting up in the air. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, I have never seen a game that actually was so broken on launch that it was like, so they said it's a glitchy mess. The Verge actually called it a dumpster fire on wheels.
Jeez, that is brutal.
And now we know why there were no early reviews for this game, because it is absolutely horrible. I mean, just broken. Absolutely broken.
Wow.
And the day one patch, according to Destructoid, the day one patch is 7.7 gig. The game's actual install is like 4.6 gig, which should probably tell you something right off the bat. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a mess. An absolute mess.
That's kind of sad too. That was a pretty decent franchise.
Well, it's a franchise that I think is grown old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is about as half-ass a job as you could possibly do on a game to get that glitchy. I mean, you put aside, we talked about Master Chief Collection and its issues, and we've talked about Drive Club and its original issues, but the games were at least playable in respects. I could play the Master Chief Collection single player or online co-op with no problem, even if people were having other issues, which I understand. Drive Club, people could at least race offline, even if they were having online issues. This game looks horrific. And I watched that video, and it was cringeworthy.
Wow.
It was absolutely cringeworthy.
So basically, it's kind of a half-assed job.
That's exactly what it is. Tony Hawk sinks into sidewalks, flies through half pipes, and contorts in inhuman ways. It's like they took the mobile version, the mobile game that he put out, and just shoved it onto consoles and said, "Here, buy it because it's Tony Hawk."
Mike, who's the publisher of this game or developer?
Activision.
Oh, geez.
I'm pretty sure it's Activision. Activision owns the... Let me double check. It is published by Activision. The question is it developed by the same people? Because it's developed by Robomoto and Disruptive Games. I don't know if I have to go back and see who developed the older Tony Hawk games. I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. Actually, no, that's not true. I do know it's typically been Neversoft has been.
Oh yeah, with the eyeball.
Yep,
Yeah.
Neversoft. And there's been some others that have gotten in. Like Neversoft did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. They did. Who did American Wasteland? American Wasteland was Neversoft.
Yep.
And so Robomoto started off doing like Tony Hawk Shred for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Remember when they first announced Tony Hawk was coming out with a game that had its own little skateboard?
Yes, I remember that.
That was it started off with Ride, Tony Hawk Ride.
Yep.
And it had that skateboard, and then they came out with Shred the next day, and that was Robomoto.
Okay.
So these guys have basically butchered this game.
Yeah, apparently the game looks like the older games. This version.
It does. It doesn't look. It really doesn't look that great. But just to have these game-breaking issues, how in the world do you release a game like that? I mean, I'm serious. How do you actually release a game that's this bad?
Especially coming from Activision. Activision's, the publisher behind this game, that they're okay with, you putting their name on a game like this. I mean, this is the Activision that puts out Call of Duty and Destiny, and they let this game go out. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's funny because I'm actually reading some of the reviews here as we talk about it. Let's see here. One review is like, the game is, from a production standpoint, Tony Hawk 5 is a total mess.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's pretty much the sentiment in most of the reviews I'm reading here.
How do you do that? And there was an article in one of the European publications, that said that some Q&A testers said that there were going to be more games like this that were going to be broken upon launch. What has happened to gaming where this is the norm? Where now we have games that just launch that are just screwed up, and you don't you don't have any recourse unless I've been I buy everything digitally, but I'll tell you, when stuff like this happens, I can absolutely understand those people who say this is why I don't do digital. I mean, look at this here. Look at this. That is Tony Hawk.
Jeez.
Right?
What is that?
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's this isn't the first game that or the last that's going to have patches. I almost feel like this is something that's really almost become the norm this console generation, and perhaps it's a deadline thing with where it's, hey, we got to get the game out, we're over budget, whatever, let's get the game out, we can always go and patch it later on. I mean,
okay,
maybe
but
that's what's happening.
When you patch the game, I would think that the patch would work. I would think that the patch would actually.
well, no, the patch patches the game, but then causes other issues, and which results in another patch coming. That's typically how this thing's been playing out.
I mean, look at this.
Oh my!
That's the game.
Like, that's pretty.
That's
bad.
Horrible.
I mean, and this isn't like a small, maybe like wall glitch or something, or the Tony Hawk characters clipping something the wall or something. I mean, that's
That
flat out
happened.
bad. I mean,
Right.
that's just blatant.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And I'm telling you,
I
they're
hope
better
they're not
not.
charging $60 for that.
They are.
That's ridiculous. No one buy that game, please. Save
Yeah.
your money.
And I'm just. It just makes you wonder why developers are doing this. Why can't they just put games out when they're ready?
Yeah.
id Software used to when they did Doom and they did Quake and stuff like that, you used to ask them, hey, when's this game coming out? And they would look you right in the eye and say, when it's done. And sometimes that would take a little longer than you want, but it would actually be the right call. It would be the right thing to do. This is just, it's unacceptable, and I've never seen this in. I mean, I've never seen it this bad. Like I said, you could talk about Master Chief Collection, you could talk about Drive Club, and you could talk about some of these games. You could talk. You know what? You are free to bring up Assassin's Creed Unity. Those games were at least playable in some form or another. They were at least playable. That game is not playable.
That game's terrible. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that animation you showed alone. I mean, I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm not a game developer, but that's bad. You can't put that out. And I'm surprised that Activision's like, okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and release this and charge $60 for it.
It's insane. It really is. I don't even know. I mean, it's just horrible. This is outright horrible. And I hope that when we get these next sled of games, when we get Halo and Call of Duty and Battlefront and these games, that they're not broken. The sad part is okay. So it's MCV. There's a company called Pull to Win, and actually they're up here. There's a Pull to Win up here near my work, near my full-time job. We're actually like right next door to them. So I kind of peek in their door every once in a while, and they're in there. They're in there playing and play testing games.
Yeah,
they have said major games this holiday could launch with crippling bugs, just like last year. Chris Raleigh from Pull to Win Localization says the run-up to this Christmas will be no different than the last one. Console games are expensive to develop, so missing a street date is not an acceptable situation to a developer.
Nope.
Day one patches have become the norm over the last few years to try to address this, but the reality is it often takes several patches where a title is significantly behind schedule. I mean, that's the problem that people are facing. Look at what happened with Witcher 3. There have been patches that have broken things that weren't broken in the first place.
Yeah, I lived that playing The Witcher 3.
And then you have to repatch it again to fix what broke.
Yeah,
that stuff is ridiculous.
It is. It really is. And it's interesting that we're hearing that we're going to see the same.
I hope not, man. I really hope not.
With with the developers, not that it's a no to miss a street date, right? But I think that's damaging. I think to the industry. I think it is personally when you release garbage like that. When you release things that are broken. I mean, at some point as a consumer, you're probably going to be like, wait a minute, guys, this is enough.
Yeah.
At least you would hope so. Unless, but who knows? Maybe some people are okay with the patches. I think it's gotten out of hand, though.
Patches are not, but again, if you patch a game, it should work.
Yeah, well, it should work. Shouldn't it work at launch, though?
They patch.
Especially if you're charging $60.
Well, in the old days, yeah, that's how it worked. But in the old days, you didn't release a game until it was done. Now what they're saying is, what this guy is saying is that, with budgets and money, they don't have that luxury.
No, they don't. They can't go over. They can't miss a street day because then they've blown their budget if they haven't already.
I don't know.
And then and then they gotta miss a certain launch or meet that launch window so they can, not necessarily launch against other games that are coming out or whatever the case may be. Too.
But do you buy that really? And I'll tell you why I say that. Look at a game like Hitman. Hitman was delayed. Okay, now coming out March 11th. They said we're delaying it because we want to make it a good game. They could have released it holiday. It's not uncommon to delay a game. I don't know that I mean, this is a game that's not. I could see if this was Destiny, but this is Tony Hawk Pro Skater. You couldn't bring this out. You couldn't bring this out in December, January, or February, and just say, "Hey, you know what? We want to make sure that this thing is the best game we could make it. So we're gonna bring this out in February." Come on. I mean, we're talking about September 29th. It's not. It's just not. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. This is a game that could have been very easily pushed back. And I think a lot of games. I think if we're talking about Halo, you can't push Halo back. I get that. Can't push Tomb Raider back. I get that. But this game could have been pushed back.
I agree. They could have launched this in April of next year. I mean, geez. I mean, I keep thinking about that video, Mike. That is crazy.
That's just horrible.
That Absolutely is terrible.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I'm going to put that. I'm going to put that right up there with ET.
Absolutely horrible. All right, moving on. We have a couple more quick things to talk about. Speaking of not impressed, so I did get into the Rainbow Six Siege beta, which has been extended until October 1st. A couple things that struck me. The biggest thing that has kind of drawn my interest away from the game is no single-player campaign. There's no story to this like Vegas and Vegas 2 had. And I mean, those games had great stories or great campaigns, not stories, but they had great campaigns and a great single player mode. And they've taken that out and basically made it a $60 multiplayer game. This trend, I hope, isn't ramping up. Titanfall was this way, and now you have this game. We don't know if I don't know if the Division has a campaign. I feel bad because I really was ramped up and hyped up for Rainbow Six Siege, and now I'm kind of not. And the beta didn't look all that great either. The terrorist hunt was fun. I had a lot of fun playing terrorist hunt with a couple of guys the other day, some of my friends online. But that's like all I'm going to be able to do with it. And like the 5-on-5 doesn't really do anything for me. So I don't know what happened. Why? Battlefront. Battlefront's the other big one. I mean, these are games that don't have single player campaigns. What the heck?
I don't think this is going to be a growing trend. I mean, I think you're just going to have games now that are going to be online only, and that's it. And
online only is one thing. Give me a co-op campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
Destiny has that.
Does now. Well, it always did.
Yeah, it always did.
It didn't have a real story. Now it has a story.
Well, that's no.
I mean, I could do PvE stuff.
Yeah.
But I need a campaign. That's my thing. But remember what remember that, people, like Peter Moore and stuff said that basically Battlefront wasn't going to get a campaign because people don't want it, because people don't play it. I don't
Well,
I don't
people are
buy
probably
that.
logging more hours in the multiplayer piece. I mean, I know with Halo 5, I'm going to log in more time on online multiplayer than I will co-op.
See,
I
I'm
know
gonna
that.
do more. I'm gonna do more of the campaign. I'm buying it. I'm buying it for the campaign. The campaign co-op is going to be flipping fantastic, but that's what I'm getting it for.
Yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is a single player only game. I'm going to very much enjoy that.
Yep.
Fallout 4 is single player. There are games that are doing it. It's just, I don't know. It took a it just took a lot of my interest out of Rainbow Six. So my next hope is that they don't do that to Ghost Recon, or I'm just gonna cry. So
Well, they might. I mean, I'm sure they track a lot of this stuff too. And again, I mean, I think as gamers, we all have different likes. You like doing the single player or the co-op stuff. Or me, I love the online multiplayer. Always have. Um, so I'm okay with that personally. Um, but I don't think this is going to be a growing trend with all games. I think you're going to have still a mix. You're going to have a mix. You're going to have games that are single player only. You're going to have games that have both, and then you'll have games that are online, or I shouldn't say online only, but multiplayer. So, but that's
right.
interesting with the Star Wars thing. I mean, I wonder how much of an impact that's going to have on sales. Maybe when people realize, well, it doesn't have a fleshed out campaign or co-op.
I don't know. We're gonna see. I know, like I said, I think I'm out. I mean, again, it's if the terrorist hunt stuff is really cool, but that can't be the only thing in the game for me. So that's just my thought on it.
Yeah.
Oh. Anything else? I think there's the only other thing that I saw that was kind of newsworthy. Um, we'll just touch on this real quick. There was a report last week that Konami was not last week. There was a report a couple weeks ago that Konami was pulling production
Konami.
on all their big budget AAA titles except for soccer.
Yep.
They have responded to that and said that is not true. So now with Julian Merceron, who also developed, was a big part of developing the Fox engine, left the company. So, people kind of were putting two together. Konami has come out and said they are absolutely working on console games and franchises such as Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Castlevania, PES, and all the rest. PES being Pro Evolution Soccer. So, unless they're not being truthful, rumors of Konami's demise appear to be a little uh, preset.
I thought Konami was focusing on mobile. I
I
thought they were
thought so
getting,
too.
yeah.
And Pacino machines, but apparently not. Apparently they are continuing on to do all the games that they said they were going to do.
I don't get that whole situation.
I don't either, but
It's well, we'll see. I mean, I can't even see them. Let me ask you something, Mike. Do you see them abandoning Metal Gear? I mean, I don't see them doing that. I mean, even though um, Kojima's not going to be there, I don't see them getting away from that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they do it without him. Although that precedent has
Hey,
been set before. Um, you know, there were games like Ninja Gaiden that was done without its original team, without Ninja
yeah,
Team,
Team Ninja. Yeah.
Team Ninja. I'm sorry.
Who was that guy that from Team Ninja? I can never remember his name.
Oh yes,
The
he was
flamboyant.
awesome.
He was
Tomonobu Itagaki.
Itagaki, yeah, he was.
Yes.
He was a big Xbox supporter. The
He
original
was.
Xbox.
Oh, he really was.
Oh, he
Which is
loved
why
it.
I thought it was interesting that The Devil's Third only came out on the Wii U.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So, no, and in fact, the PS3 versions of Ninja Gaiden and stuff did not come out from his team. It came out from another internal team um, within Tecmo. And there's
That's a name I haven't heard in a long
they
time.
called it Sigma. They changed a lot of it. Well, I think they did. Team Ninja turned out. I mean, Team Ninja was sort of Itagaki left there, and Team
He
Ninja
did.
stayed with Tecmo. So I remember the guy. His name was Yosuke Hayashi. He took over when Itagaki left, and he did Ninja Gaiden, Sigma, and all that stuff. So that was the whole thing. I remember that whole scenario too because there was lawsuits and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was ugly.
Yeah, but that Ninja Gaiden game on the Xbox was awesome.
Oh my god, it was fantastic.
I mean,
And
wow.
I cannot remember. The original Xbox version is backward compatible to the Xbox 360. We'll see if Ninja Gaiden 2 is backward compatible to the Xbox One. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, me too.
So. All right. I don't think the only other thing that I saw, and I don't know, this is I only bring this up because it is a quote from somebody. We know how poorly the Xbox is doing in Japan. Xbox Japan's marketing manager Masashi Inouye believes that Scalebound is going to change that and boost the Xbox in Japan. What say you?
I'm saying that it's not going to boost in Japan. I think that's marketing, but I just can't wait for that game.
Oh, that game's going to rock.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to be careful what we say. You might get banned on. Well, he probably doesn't listen to our podcast,
right.
But you don't want to pay him too many compliments,
right?
Yeah, I don't see who knows. It's probably not going to happen. It's not going to move the dial for them over there.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if anything's ever going to move the dial there.
No, and they don't. The Japanese really don't game on consoles like they used to anymore. They've really gone mobile now.
A lot of it is.
Yeah,
a lot of it is. So, other than that, I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover this week. You're still working on Beyond Eyes.
And, yes, I am. I got to say something, Mike. That game, it's very, visually, it's probably one of the more. I don't know how to say it. It's very creative. And I think it's definitely, it's kind of a. Try not to give too much away, but it's very much it's a bold game. I think to do.
Oh, we've lost him again. So, hang on. We'll get Enrique back in a second. This is what happens when you go live, guys.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
He's back.
What happened? So what happened? So I don't know what happened. I heard a little faint noise, and did I just drop?
A little bit. You phased out and phased back in. It must be the weather.
It's got to be the weather.
So
what part do I need to repeat?
The part about bold.
Yeah, I think it's creatively for me. It was kind of a bold, I guess, step. I've never played a game like it before. I'll say that much.
Okay.
And I think, and I certainly have come to appreciate the artistic value in the game. I really have.
Excellent.
But I'll leave it at that. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay. Well, and of course, we do apologize to Team 17. I know we've been sitting on that game for a while. It's just, as we've said, we're looking for reviewers to help us out because look,
Yes.
as things get busier, it's hard for just the two of us to do them all.
Yeah.
I was able to pump out Blues and Bullets, which is, oh my god, what a cool game! I can't wait for the other episodes. That game is just, I love it, and we've been able to get out some other notable indie titles, and we're going to continue to bring that content to you guys. It's just, if we can get, I'd say one more reviewer that could do PS4 and Xbox games, we'll be in the clear, because then we'll be able to get a lot more content up a lot faster. But in the meantime, we'll continue to get that stuff up as soon as we can. So,
yep. Hey, Mike, have you watched the original Mad Max movies?
I remember the original Mad Max movies.
Yeah, did you like them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the new one recently,
and
didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
There are people that are on both sides of that it's either you like it or you don't. There's no middle ground.
I mean, the game, the game. I mean, the game, not the Mad Max game because I haven't played that. But the movie actually looks pretty good. I mean, the costume design, the set design, everything looks pretty cool. It looks really nice, but I wasn't feeling it.
All right. Have you watched the new Muppets yet?
No, I've not.
Got to watch the Muppets.
I haven't watched the Muppets yet.
Yes. Kermit is in a bacon. Kermit's life is a bacon wrapped hell.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I don't know how long that show is gonna last because they're doing it's basically the Muppets meets The Office, but the first episode was actually pretty funny, so it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we did talk about Destiny tonight.
No, and let's not.
It's getting positive reviews.
Of course it is.
The Taken King.
Of course it is, because it's a popular game, and of course it's going to get good reviews.
Well, it didn't get great reviews last. It didn't get good reviews last time.
No, this is sort of like a makeup call.
Yeah. Well, everyone's saying that this is how the game should have been. This, and you know what, Mike? And you have to tip your hats off to Bungie. I mean, they really did a good job turning this around. They had to.
It's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Hard.
So no, hats off to them. And I may still end up getting it at some point. We shall see.
I think you would enjoy it. I mean, you like playing co-op, and that is very much a co-op game.
So I keep hearing.
Yes.
So.
And it has a story now.
All righty.
I'm going to keep badgering you about this,
I know.
by the way.
I know. All right. Well,
Destiny.
On that note, we've come to the end of another podcast. We have gone under the hour-and-a-half mark for the first time.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That is. Now, it's been a light news week. Obviously, the big stuff was the Xbox bundles and the PS4 firmware and stuff like that. But I try to aggregate the news throughout the week so we can talk about it. It hasn't been. I mean, I think a lot of things right now are set for the holidays. So it's a matter of getting there and seeing how it all plays out, and then finding these extra little bits of news like the Xbox bundles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna, it'd be interesting to hear Sony, some of the bundles they might have for the holidays. I'm interested to see that.
Maybe I'm trying to think honestly, and then I know this is going to sound bad. I know it's going to sound bad, but I'm trying to figure out what they could do bundles of besides Call of Duty and, I mean, it's too late. I mean, they've already had a Bloodborne bundle. It's way too late for that. What other games? What other games can they really do?
I said the Uncharted collection has a bundle already.
Well, that's right. That's their other big bundles, the Uncharted collection, which we talked about last week. And I still want to know. I still
Don't
want to
know.
know if GameStop is going to sell that bundle because the version of Uncharted is digital.
Isn't well? I thought one of the
I
games was
showed it
physical.
last week. It was.
So
Great
is it one of the games in the bundle physical or something? I'm confused. I thought I heard that it is physical. I don't know.
The bundle has a digital version in it.
So all the games are digital.
Well, it's one game. It's like Master Chief Collection. It's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Okay. I thought it was actually I thought Warrior Brian had told me that it was in fact a physical copy.
I will. Nope. And here, I'll show you. Let's bring it up. This is what I brought up last week. So this is the nice part about live is I can do this. So we come down here, the Uncharted Collection, game voucher. That to me says digital copy.
Yeah.
So
unless they're giving you a voucher, some kind of voucher that, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're selling it at GameStop.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. No? That says game disc. So maybe they're swapping out for the game disc. I think we should ask them. I'll see if I can get an answer.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd wonder. But oh God, I have my opinions on GameStop, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, that's for another day.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we wrap this one up because we have covered everything, and I want to definitely stay under an hour and a half for this week. I'd like to get back to bed and get rid of this cold. And
yeah, Mike, you take care of yourself. Feel better. Relax.
It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Drink some chicken soup.
I have done that. Chicken soup and tea. It is National Coffee Day, by the way, and I'm a tea drinker. So
there you go.
So as always, thank you guys for checking out our podcast. Enrique, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure to get together with you and just talk some gamage.
Likewise.
And here is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because, of course, the more subscribers we have, the more content we can bring you. It's just the way it works. Follow us on Twitch at OG_NL Gaming and on Twitter at OG_NL Gaming. And please leave comments below if you agree with, disagree with anything we've had to say tonight. We'd love to engage with you, as long as, of course, it is. You can leave the fanboy stuff at home. Bring us a good take, and we'll be glad to talk to you. So, on behalf of Enrique and myself, this is the original Next Level Gaming podcast. Everybody have yourself a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and play on, gamers.